Hi everyone, Danny Bader here, and I'm excited to welcome you back to yet another episode of our podcast, 11 Minutes to Inspiration, where we offer you information, some interviews with some really cool people, and simply observations for your consideration that are all designed to support you in being inspired to continue creating a happy and fulfilling life. Because after all, that's why we're here, right? Hi everybody, I'm Danny Bader and welcome to another episode of 11 Minutes to Inspiration. I am very excited today. This is my first podcast where I have two guests on. So the way that this happened is I'm down here in Nashville to attend a branding workshop and learn some things about that. And I have two friends here, Priscilla Block, Priscilla say hello, and Brandon Lovelady.
Hey. Some
friends of mine that are down here in Nashville. So when you think of Nashville, you probably think of great food, country music, and struggling artists. Now,
yes.
Struggling artists, yes. But struggling artists, for me, we always say you have to watch your language. Struggling
True.
Artist or somebody, pursuing their vision. I like to go for the second one. So we're going to have some conversation about that down here because, as you know, I usually don't wear my Jackrabbit t-shirt in the podcast, but I figured it's 19 degrees out and I'm in a t-shirt.
It's pretty cold.
Yeah. If anything, us musicians know what it means to put on the support. If you,
That's right.
Yep.
You got to do it yourself, right?
That's right. So, at the core of the Jackrabbit methodology, and these both Brandon and Priscilla have read the books and also, we'll talk a lot about vision today and their ability to imagine what needs to be real for them and then move forward to create it here. And they have been and they'll continue to. So it's going to be a great session. Thanks a lot for joining in. So first, Priscilla, quick little 2-minute, who is Priscilla Block? Where are you from? What's up?
A big old mess at all times in her life. I'm just kidding. So I'm from North Carolina. I'm one of 5 kids. So I grew up most of my life out there, and I started writing songs when I was 13, and I knew I wanted to move out to Nashville, so I kind of made the move right after high school. But yeah, I grew up one of 5 kids. My dad was a pastor.
Your dad's a pastor?
Yeah.
What's the brother-sister thing?
So I've got one brother, and then there's one boy and 4 girls.
Okay, 1 boy, 4 girls.
And he's right in the middle, so he always had 2 girls older telling him what to do and 2 girls younger telling him what to do.
That's
so
cool.
I mean, consider himself blessed, right?
Yeah, right on. Yeah, I have 6 brothers and 1 sister, and she's the oldest.
Yeah.
So for us, it was kind of like Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. She ran interference for us.
For sure.
Cool. Good. So Brandon, tell us about you.
I am one of 3. I'm the oldest, and I have 2 younger sisters.
Okay.
I'm from Arkansas,
right
in the South. And I don't know what to say.
High school?
I went to high school, and then I went to college. Called it my college tour because I went to 3 schools in 5 years.
Did you?
So I
Where'd
went to
you go?
school. First school I went to Arkansas Tech for a year.
Right.
Then I went to Arkansas State for 2 years, and then finished at a small private Baptist college, Ouachita Baptist University, and that's where I finished.
Cool.
That's where I wanted to end up.
Was
at OVU, and then finally finished.
Right.
It was a little expensive, so
I
waited a little bit.
Life's a long journey, right?
Yeah.
It's tough for us parents when we see that 5th year of college coming through the doors. But so you started playing. You play guitar. You play some other things, but mainly guitar and vocals.
Yeah.
And you started playing that when you were 13?
Yeah, I started playing
14?
Piano when I was 13, and that didn't last too long because I never practiced. So, and then my mom really encouraged me to pick up guitar. She was like, Priscilla, I think that, it's something that you'll always be able to take with you. You don't have to plug in. You don't have to have this huge setup. And so I found one in our, attic, and they were like, we're not paying for lessons this time because clearly you don't practice.
You practice
and
first.
it was, I fell in love with it, and I just started teaching myself.
Did you say pretty much self-taught?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Good. Yeah. And so you started playing music when?
Oh,
how old? Because you're a drummer.
Yes, yeah.
Right. So
I was
instruments
around
drummer.
12 years old.
Okay.
My dad is a drummer as well.
Right.
And he's a worship leader now.
Okay.
And we lived here in Nashville when I was a little kid.
Right.
He was a touring musician.
So he's pastor, or is there a difference?
He leads the worship.
He leads the worship and pastor. Cool.
Yeah.
Good. I like that. I like that little faith connection we all have here.
Love the Lord.
Yes.
Bless it. And my mom is
We'll pray for career success before we finish here.
Yeah, we can all use a little prayer.
Please, Lord, record contract.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you started playing the sticks then at 10 or 11?
Yes. Wow. I went on a 3-week run with my dad on a tour bus, and so I got to like help him out and set up and stuff,
right? And
kind of see how the road works.
Yeah.
And we were driving home, and I was like, Dad, I really want to do this. I think this would be awesome. And he's like, okay. And so the next day, he started teaching me stuff.
Wow. So this is at 11 or 12. You thought, I want to do this
pretty early
as
on.
A job.
Yeah.
Like as an adult person.
Because I was already around it.
Yeah.
Up till 12.
Right.
And then being on the tour bus, I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, especially for a 12-year-old kid. Right?
Yeah,
You're on the bus, you don't have to go to sleep, no
homework.
My
gosh, right?
There's probably pretzels, potato chips, and soda all around.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes, all the candy that I could get.
Right. They didn't pay you, they just gave you candy.
No, exactly.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
Yeah, it was great.
So when did you, Priscilla, know that, wow, I want to do this, I just don't want to play guitar, I want to be a star?
Yeah, I probably when I wrote my first song that I really believed in when I was 16, and I had a really good response from it through friends and family, and it wasn't just I would sing talent shows when I was in elementary school and middle school, and then I wrote this song and I uploaded it to MySpace or whatever was that at the time, right?
MySpace, yeah.
And the response was just crazy,
nice.
And it's just that. Not that I was needing the validation, but I just got so many words from people you should really do this. And at the time, Taylor Swift was just blowing up, and she was just that young country girl that I was if she's doing it,
let's go.
I'm gonna do it.
So what was the name of the first song you wrote?
Oh my gosh, One More Kiss.
One More Kiss.
It's actually on my EP. It was one of the songs that I still play and people
I have that.
love. Yeah.
You got the black hat on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
See, I know.
Nice.
But yeah,
I bought that in my old Jeep.
It was really that first song that I was I think I could write songs for a living and really be an artist.
Wow. Yeah.
And my family couldn't up and move us, and so I was well, I'm gonna move right after high school.
Yeah, it's so important what we think about, especially in the career that you're in. In terms of what we think about ourselves and our, a lot of times people call it beliefs.
Yeah,
you have to believe in yourself. It's such a basic tenet, but it's interesting in life sometimes that we may be doing what we're doing, but somewhere inside there's that nagging sense of, can I really do this? So it's cool that you got validation. You're like, damn, I could do this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And in high school I traveled a lot and auditioned for just about every single show that you can think of.
Right.
My parents were we can't move you out to Nashville, but me and my dad, we went to American Idol, X Factor, The Voice. All the shows,
you did them all, yeah, cool.
And I was I'm going.
Yeah, you're going. Yeah. So you came right after high school. Now, when you started playing drums, did it come pretty easy to you?
Not really. Kind of. I get that natural talent from, I guess, both my parents.
Yeah.
But
did your mom play as well? She music?
Yeah, she played keys. She plays keys.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
But mainly she just teaches vocal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. To elementary kids.
That's insane.
Yeah. No, definitely going through middle school and high school band, and then especially college. Blessed for that, because college is where I really learned a lot of stuff.
A lot of music then,
yes,
right?
Yes,
music,
yes. Yeah. Got to dig deep.
Composition.
Yeah.
So in high school, were you in band, marching band? Or band?
Marching band. So I was in marching band for 9 or 10 years.
Were you also in bands with your buddies?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the guy that I play for now, Gable, I've been with him since I was 14 years old.
Wow.
Playing in a little garage band.
Yeah. And so he's from Arkansas. So he's from where? Yeah. What's his name?
Gable Bradley.
Gable Bradley.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Great names, right? Priscilla Block, Brandon Lovelady, Gable Bradley. If these aren't future country stars, I don't know what is. Danny Bader don't sound like a country star.
No, that's good.
A lot of country stars.
Honestly, I think that you might be able to go the music route. You got the
you probably did hear me sing before, P. It's not a pretty thing. Not a pretty thing at all. So let's talk about when you came to Nashville and what were some of the good times, challenges. How was that for you, P, first when you came down?
So I definitely knew Nashville was going to be pretty hard, and I kind of set myself up knowing that. So my first year was very, very difficult. I mean, the first weekend that I moved to Nashville, my house got broken into.
Really?
So there was a lot of things. I was doing everything that I thought I needed to do, and I had to do. I didn't have any, financial support. So I was working 40 hours a week. I was also in school, so I worked 9 to 5. I had class from 6 to 9. It was just, I woke
and
up.
hustling music.
I'm trying to figure out music. I'm also underage, so I can't really get into all these bars that all this music is happening.
Right.
So, I'm like using fake IDs, like getting them taken left and right, like to get into these bars just to go listen to music.
The bouncer's like, oh, she's married tonight.
Yeah, they're right, we know you. I remember once I went into the bar with this, it was a pretty bad fake, and he just like bent it in half, and he goes, "Here you go." I said, "Oh, thanks."
Welcome to
I walked away.
Welcome to Nashville.
But yeah, I mean, the first year was definitely very difficult, but I had a lot of little winks that was like, this is where you need to be. And
any thoughts of going home that first year?
No, I definitely was depressed, but I never I knew I needed to be here.
Right.
I think that was the struggle. Was like, I know this is where I need to be, but I'm so alone. I don't know anybody.
Right.
I'm just depressed.
Yeah, money, finances,
everything. And then after a year.
But you never veered off, even though when you're in those valleys.
Yeah.
And the shit's hitting the fan, you just said, I gotta hang in,
Yeah. And it was,
That's
cool.
Cool.
And I think after a year, I really had to just change my perspective completely and stop taking no as an answer. I quit my job, quit school, and I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it.
Right, yeah.
And once I did that, Nashville completely changed for me.
Yeah, and you've been here how long?
4.5 years.
4.5 years, yeah, good. And how about you? You came after college then?
Yeah, so I've been here a little...
What was that transition? Do you have buddies down here or what?
Yeah, so I moved with Gable.
Okay.
And his brother Spencer, he plays bass in the band.
Okay. And
so I've been here a little over a year now. It's definitely different from going to college, having a set schedule every day. I was in school going 9 to 9, practicing 3 hours a day.
Right.
Because that was just required.
Yeah.
But definitely coming here and then having to get a job because I can't find
we all broke.
Couldn't find
that damn thing called a job again.
I know.
Can't we just pursue our visions and not work? Can't we?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But,
oh my gosh.
The first month I was here too, my car was stolen.
Oh my gosh.
When I was working.
Yes.
Hey, listen, Nashville is a nice place. I know.
It is. Yeah, it does have its good and bad.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Took my car and my cymbals and snare, everything I needed.
I forgot about that.
So I was borrowing gear the first month I was here.
Yeah, so that's something that just sets you back, you feel
exactly.
like, oh, come on, man, why are you...
I think those are also the testers, and it's like, it's those really, really hard times, like, are you made out for this or not?
The testers, I like that, the testers.
Yeah.
What was your biggest tester, Priscilla?
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Yeah, and they're all coming to mind.
Oh, my gosh.
You got one that comes to mind?
I think, definitely the whole house getting broken into thing. I think one of, I guess another one would be a relationship ending. That's always a pretty big tester because you just get used to like the norm and then all of a sudden you feel like it's gone. You have to create like a new way, a new normal, right? Yeah. So those are always moments that,
especially if you don't want it to end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're kind of on the ending side, it's okay, but it sucks when you don't want it to.
So those, I think.
Good for songs, though, right?
Oh, great for songs. My gosh, Lord bless that. I mean.
Well, bad relationship. I got 6 songs out of this now.
Yeah, and just sometimes, when you feel like you've got a great song, and it's those moments where you think that something's going to get on hold. Like, you're right on the verge that you hear an artist might cut it, might not. And then when it doesn't, it's like moments like that.
Yeah, it just takes you right back down.
So those are testers, like, I got to just keep pushing and not let that shit get to me,
Right on. Yeah. How about you? Any testers? I like that term.
I mean, same with that, but also, like, going out and seeing other drummers, I guess, because you think Nashville, you're like, fantastic musicians, like, everywhere. And there are, but there's also not so fantastic musicians because Nashville blew up, and so now everyone's like, oh, I can totally move out to Nashville and do this music thing.
Sure.
But definitely just seeing that, and like, especially having my first session was at RCA on Music Row. I was sweating bullets. I'm like, okay, I gotta go in there and show them what I got. But
you did, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, because I'm still getting calls from them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So it's that moment of, oh my gosh, I got a good shot right now, and how do you control that voice in your head?
True.
So we don't sabotage ourselves. So how do you control that? How did you control it?
Oh gosh. Just confidence.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just take a deep breath, recognize it.
Yeah. True. Yeah. Knowing, hey, I got this, because I remember the first time I met you, you asked me, you're like, are you good? And I was like, I mean, yeah, sure. You're like, no, just tell me if you're good. And I was like, yeah.
That was cool. I remember that.
Thank you for asking.
Own that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, because you could still be humble and say, I'm a pretty damn good drummer.
Yeah, I've worked my ass
off.
I
look forward to seeing you come see me play. I'm going to see you play tomorrow. I'm going to see them both play tomorrow night.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll have some of that sprinkled in here.
Did he have to take his breath away? I paid all I had to my name, but without you he would have stayed. Wow, do you gotta look the way you do? Like a picture perfect postcard sent with a mountain sunset view. Why not me? Why could I not be? Why me? You just pointed out on the map. I was every road between. He found the one his heart belongs. I know I can't.
You were going to say something.
I was just gonna add on to the whole the testers and stuff, and I think not letting, I really, living in Nashville, I've seen it, and I really believe that groups of people rise together, and using other people's success as just a happiness and to motivate you, like sometimes I've seen it so much where people just almost let it bring them down, and like building a team of people that like you want to see succeed instead of like letting that kind of beat you up like in a jealousy way, and like, why can't that be me? And I think that just understanding your timeline, everybody's got a different timeline in Nashville. And not letting, when you're seeing people that you've kind of have been in your class starting to do things, let that motivate you to continue to better yourself.
That's it. Yeah, it's such a negative energy when we're kind of jealous or envious of other people, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just today was dealing with somebody from Marriott. I do a lot of work with them, and this lady, she's helping me out with something. We got to get a bunch of rooms and have an event and all. And she just went out of her way. She's really cool. And I said, I owe you one. And she just sent back. She said, you don't owe me anything. This energy goes around. Hey. And she's just so cool that way.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
So good. So what are you doing now? What are you up to now?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, now
let's hear what you're up to.
Give us the scoop.
I'm playing drums full time. Yeah. Because when I first moved here.
So you support yourself playing drums. That's awesome.
Yep. Full time.
Yeah.
That was the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And the vision, right?
Took a year to get there, but because I moved here and I was working at the YMCA at 4:30 in the morning till 10:30, and then I'd come back and practice. And then go out at night and network.
Man, such a good message for young people, right? 4:30 in the morning, working at the Y till 10:30, so you can come back and pursue your vision, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Good message there, young people. Not all people, right? Myself included sometimes.
But it was hard going out at night and then staying out till 11, 12, watching people play. And connecting, and then waking up 4 hours later.
4 o'clock.
Yeah.
You go. Just get a quick shower there. So you can go, right? So you play with how many different people? Sessions or just one group now?
Consistently, I'm playing for 6 or 7 people.
6 or 7 different people.
And then doing sessions, and then picking up anything I can get.
Yeah.
Playing on Broadway or
Sure.
like showcases like we're doing tomorrow night.
Yeah, that should be cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Well done,
And then
man.
trying to hit the road.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
That's it. Hit the road.
The highs with the swing, don't get attached. It don't mean a thing, and sing heartbeats. You sit on my knee, and I'm his queen, laying and that king. Where my crown to?
I know you play yourself and play with a lot of folks. So what are you up to now? What?
Right now I'm on the road.
Uh-huh.
You know, just working on new music, recording, and I think the
Just
goal,
as a solo artist. Yeah, good.
Yeah,
I know you were on the road last week because we were texting, right?
Yeah, so last weekend I was in West Virginia. This weekend I'll be in Florida, and you know, just getting out there and creating a fan base.
Right.
You know, I think the difference with like Brandon and I is, you know, I've got like I'm like, you know, obviously trying to be an artist, and like the cool thing, like being a drummer, like having, you know, being able to like play with other artists and stuff. I think it's really cool because we were talking about this when we were on the road. He actually came with me one weekend, and I was like, dude, it's cool that you get to play with as many people as you want because your chances are even that much higher, you know? Like,
yeah, the exposure's better.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
So
that's a good point.
I'm just really, you know, trying to do as much as I can to put myself out there as much as I can. And, you know, if I'm taking crappy gigs, like, to do that, I have to.
Yeah, because you never know who's going to be in there, right?
Exactly.
Right?
So I think that the music is there, and, you know, it's funny, like, you think you have to move out to Nashville, which you do. Like, say you have to move out to Nashville for people to recognize you. Then you get out here and you're like...
You have to leave.
Yeah, you have to leave. And you're like... Yeah, exactly. When people are in town, they're like, man, they're doing big things, you know? And I'm like, what?
Where do you play when you're on the road? Colleges, bars?
Everywhere I can. I mean, you know, a lot of the times it's just me, or me and a drummer, or me and... You know, I'm really, really fortunate because I live with my guitar player and drummer, and they're so behind me.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't pay for, like, people that believe in me more than these two.
Yeah, it's such a good energy, right?
So they're like, Priscilla, we'll go on the road with you. I mean, Sarah, she quit her job. She's like, I'm ready. Like, let's go. They want to be a part of it. So that's
awesome.
really nice.
There is nothing more important than having people that believe in you.
Yeah.
And when we feel like shit, they're the ones we go to and say, hey, you know what, I feel like shit right now.
Exactly.
And that's what I think too many people don't do. It's a byproduct of being a human being, I think, to feel like shit. Whether you're in business and boss and meetings or music or sports
so true.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But just so many people stay bottled up and just like, I can't have bad days and I can't feel like crap.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm glad that came up. Own that and just say, hey, help me out and let's move through this. Tomorrow, 2 to 3 days from now, I'll be fine. But right now, I need to kind of move through it a little bit. Yeah.
So yeah, just being on the road and working on new music and you know, just doing everything that I can, really, to put myself out there.
Right on. So your faith, I know for both of you, you know, myself included, is a key foundation for support. How's that rolling for you?
I know P and I talk about this a lot, just like we don't know what our plan is, and just putting all that faith in his work and his doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we know what we obviously want to do and how big we want to be, but it's not our doing. Like, we just got to have faith and put it all in his hands.
Have faith and put it in his hands.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I'll ask you in a minute, but I did an interview last night with a priest and a woman, you know, about the Back from Heaven's Front Porch and some of the books. And, you know, he asked too, because I had that, you guys know, I had that near-death experience. And, well, not near, I was there, going back. And he said, you know, why do you think you're back? You know, we talked about the plan, and I said, I've stopped trying to figure out why I came back. I've just surrendered and said, you know, use me as you need to use me.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
How about you? How's your faith show up for you?
I mean, it's very strong, and I think that I was born to do music. I know I was born to do music.
Right on.
You know, and I'm, you know, I think that I have a lot to say, and that's the cool part of songwriting. You know, I think that the good Lord put that in me, and just I write a lot of songs from everything that I feel and that, hopefully resonates with other people, and that's, I really believe that's what I was meant to do.
Good.
So everything that I, put into music is all faith,
Yeah. Well, music certainly has a special quality where it can inspire and heal and do all those things. Yeah. That's cool. Mm-hmm. So you talked just a couple minutes ago about, that was the goal, to come down here and play drums full time and let that support you. So it's goal setting. For me, I call it vision. It's all the same, people say. Yeah. But for me, some reason, I like vision. I like the ability to imagine what needs to be real. Mm-hmm. So do either of you have a process where you write that vision down, you make a vision board, you put your goals on paper or in your phone? Because it's so important, right? True. Yeah, so what are you doing?
I've never been like that personally, but I know exactly what my goal is. Right. And I want to play arenas. Right. And I want to be as big as possible. Right on. Because I have friends in college and they just want to get on the road and play venues, and I'm like, I want to be playing for Taylor Swift. She's doing it right, and she's playing arenas and probably one of the biggest stars right now.
So you just hold on to that supreme goal, kind of that long-term vision. Yeah. And then it seems as though you kind of monitor yourself pretty well along the way, making sure that you're doing those things. Yeah.
That's cool. I know that's not going to happen overnight for sure.
No, it's cool. I mean, there's a lot of people that hold on to that big vision or whatever, but they don't monitor themselves. So some people will have some type of goal or vision process, and then other people, I have a couple of friends, very, very successful, that they don't. They just have such a discipline and kind of a self-corrector to look at themselves and say, oh, well, I'm not doing what I need to do. I'm not doing what I need to do. And yet other people, for writing it down, is better. So it's cool that you have, it's good. How about you?
I definitely want to get better with writing it down. I do here and there, but not consistently. And my mom, she's like, Priscilla, write down every single day what you want. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm about. And she full on believes you speak things into existence. And I believe that that's true too. I just need to start doing it more. You know?
Well, there's a fine line too, and that's we definitely do, but there's the action.
Yeah, exactly. You have to
it's you on a shitty tour. It's exactly. You getting up at 4:30. So many people they miss the action part. This is where I'm going, but I need to get off my ass and do something as well. And you both know that.
Yeah. I think with those testers and when you're out and you're playing those shows that you're like, God, are people even paying attention? It's not taking it for granted. And I was on the road this past weekend with one of my best friends, and I was like, it's really easy to take this for granted. And this is what we wanted. We wanted to be able to play music and make some sort of money, Right. And here we're doing that, you know. So it's taking those moments and being like, you know what, I am bigger and better than this. But I'm gonna bust my ass even more harder. So next year I'm not in the same boat, you know? So I think I talk to myself a lot, when it comes to those moments, and just be like, I really do try to imagine myself selling out big shows and also having creative control of what I want to do and who I'm about. I've spent the past 4 years really creating my brand. And what I want to say. And so the goal is just having a bunch of people that get it and want to be a part of it.
True.
Yeah, that's cool, right?
Yeah. Playing those 4-hour bar gigs that we do not want to play.
I'm not singing Redneck Woman one more time. Do not request Wagon Wheel. I swear. I just did it 2 songs ago. Y'all are drunk as hell, and you don't remember.
You don't even remember. You had such a good time. That's cool, because the guy I'll be working with the next couple of days down here, Rory Vaden, who has a real good company and is real knowledgeable. I've just kind of found out about him recently, but around brand. He talks about that it's your reach and your reputation, are so key. So when people think about, Brandon, who is Priscilla, and that's it. But then that with your reach, and that's where you're being the road warrior, and you as well, the 4:30 stuff.
True.
Where we just have to continue. And social media it's a vehicle for us to get there as well, but we got to make sure we use it right and just.
For sure.
But there's nothing that, you just got to keep, kind of forging ahead, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a grind.
So here's a question for you now, because vision is so important for us. I ask you 2 more questions. If I don't see you, Brandon, for a whole year.
Yeah.
So we're January, 28th today? 29th?
Yeah,
20,
20
whatever, yeah. So if I don't see you for a
ask
whole
me,
year,
Yeah.
and then I do see you, and I say, hey, Brandon, you say, Danny, great, how's everything? And I say, Brandon, how's life?
Yeah.
And you say, Danny, it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, why? What happened since last time when I saw you in Nashville?
Yeah.
So what are some key points that need to happen, some key outcomes this year for you
Ooh.
on the way to the big
Yeah.
one?
I guess just staying on top of things and keep grinding.
Mm-hmm.
I know we use that word a lot in the band that we're in because I don't know, it's a grind here.
Yep.
Everybody here is wanting to do the same thing.
Sure.
They want to make it as big as possible, whether that's they're in fitness or they're in music, mostly music here.
Right.
But just staying with that tunnel vision on what you want to do, because a lot of people will get here 3 years and then leave, and they'll never know what chance they could have had. I
Got
think.
it.
But just
Got
staying on the grind.
So you just stay in that grind and you monitor that and you know.
Oh yeah.
Right. But any big events that would, if anything really cool took place this year for you? A venue or a contract or any of those kinds of things?
So Gable's the main guy
Right.
that I play for, and so hopefully him getting signed this year.
Okay, so he's not signed now.
No, not right
Gable
now.
Bradley, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
He's got a manager,
cool.
and so
Yeah.
we're just seeing the next steps.
Sure. So that would be one.
Yeah.
You look a year from now, you say, you know what, Danny, life's great. We got signed.
Yeah.
We got, it's so important, I think, to put those mile markers. This happened by April. This happened by, because it really, it kind of keeps you much more focused on it.
Yeah.
Because the grind, which is beautiful, I get it. Sometimes it just, it becomes the grind. You know what I mean? And we're not looking up. But the grind does produce wonderful outcomes too. I get that.
True.
That's cool. Yeah, you'll have a great year, I'm sure, man.
Thanks.
I'm sure.
I hope so.
Same question for you, Ms. Block. If I see you a year from now and I haven't seen you and I say how's life and you say it's wonderful and I ask why, what are you gonna tell me?
I'm putting out a song this year, and I really, 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 really believe in it, and I think that it's something that country music doesn't have right now. And so hopefully, if you see me next year, I'm sure we'll see each other before then.
Yeah, right.
But, the goal would be to say, I put out a song and it blew up.
Right, good.
And
because of that, I'm opening for.
Yeah,
this
I'm opening.
person, this
Yeah,
person, this person.
next year I'm gonna go on the road with X, Y, and Z, and I finally have a strong team of people that really believe in me.
Good. Yeah, it's perfect.
Thick thighs save lives.
That's the new single. It's coming out. It's called Thick Thighs.
What's it called?
Thick Thighs.
Thick Thighs.
Thick Thighs. Yep.
And that's the name of the song.
That's the song.
Thick Thighs. Now you gonna play it tomorrow night?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Good. So you're gonna have to give me a heads up so I make sure I'm rolling.
Oh
my
yeah.
camera
We're
for
putting
that.
out in May, so
I love it.
it's exciting.
That's
it's
great.
Really exciting.
So you two are right where you need to be in life. You absolutely. You said hopefully, but you trust. Trust is much more powerful than hope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially for our faith, right? Trust. How often do we know trust?
Mm-hmm.
So you're right where you need to be. That's cool.
And back to the whole
I think so.
timeline thing, I think that, it's like the goal, just understanding, have those goals by next year, I want it here. But also understanding, when that year comes around, you're doing those, New Year's resolutions.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, just understanding that, everybody's timeline is different.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it is. And there's sometimes life will throw you a curveball, right? You say, hey, this is the perfect year for me. But then the unexpected shows up.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the work that we do, I'll have people go through and write that vision letter out, here's what a good year looks like. And I'll show them mine and health, wealth, and career, and relationships, and travel, and everything,
Yeah.
And they'll say, oh, that looks great. What if it all doesn't get done? So again, we've got some of these naysayers, how they come at us. And I look and I say, if it all doesn't get done, that's okay, because it's an imperfect world. But because I have this and I read it at least once a week, a hell of a lot more is getting done because I'm focused on it, And they go, oh, okay. I said, listen, just test it out. I'm not saying you have to do it. I don't tell anybody anything.
Yeah.
How are you doing with that? And if you want to experiment with something, here's something I learned a long time ago from people that works pretty well.
Yeah. It's
So here's what you need to do now. You need to look into the camera over there, and you need to say to our listeners, our viewers, offer them, right, we're not going to tell, offer them 2 or 3 things that you find to be real valuable, and if they're not practicing those principles, they might want to experiment with them in terms of developing a big, bold vision for yourself, and then getting off your ass to execute on it.
Yeah.
In whatever way you wanna say. Sure. Brandon, we're making you go first. Right?
Brandon's like, Chris,
He's like,
do you want
to? Yeah.
Drum roll.
Hey, a couple for me would be being personable. Definitely being here in Nashville and being able to go out and connect. I'm a really shy person, and so it takes a lot for me to open up, but definitely just being personable, because that's a huge thing now, especially with social media. That's how people see you.
Be real, right?
And if you can hang,
Yeah.
these people will hire you for sure.
I like that one.
Another time management.
Yes.
For sure. I learned that in college very quick, especially after freshman year when I did not want to practice. But I try to study every day and try to learn something new for drumming.
That's brilliant.
And practicing.
Yeah.
But definitely having to put that stuff in my schedule daily. But just time management.
So
That's
time
all I can say.
management, be authentic, personable,
yeah.
vulnerable, just a human being, right?
Yeah.
Yep, here I am, and I'm a good dude, and not perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
So important. Anything else? Or?
Those are 2 ones that jump out to me, for sure.
Did a hell of a good job on the interview on the podcast, didn't he?
I know, I'm super shy on my neck's red, so we're good.
My neck red, you know.
You did great.
A little bit of a redneck.
Priscilla, what do you think? 2 or 3 things that you would offer to people, young, old, wherever, good life, shitty place in life. What do we need to focus on?
I think the most important thing is being 100% authentically you. You know, don't be about something that you're not. And people see through that, you know. It's like, and that's so much why I like to write songs about just real stuff, you know, like thick thighs, I'm a curvy girl, you know, and just really owning like you and not being something that you're not, and people will get it, and people will want to be about it, the right people, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's one of the biggest things, and I think the second thing would, don't take no as an answer. You know, if you want it, go get it. Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of no's. There's going to be no's every single day. And if you want it, you go get it and you figure out how to do it. And don't let those no's set you back.
Right.
True.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no is so powerful. I had what's the one line somebody once said? It's just no for now. You've probably heard that, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes with the no's too, especially in the business, you know, my brother, 2 of my brothers were drummers.
Yeah.
Eddie, and you know, they toured and all kinds of stuff. And that no is oftentimes associated with rejection. Yeah. And then that works on our core and our head and everything else. And I remember sometime I was talking to a guy out in California, and it was in a sales role way back before I was doing what I'm doing now. And I said no, when people say no, and I'm afraid to ask a question because what if they say no? And he said, how about if they don't really reject you? They just answer your question.
Yeah.
And I went, He said, you just asked them a question and they answered it.
Yep.
It wasn't the one you wanted, but they just answered it. So it was no. And I was like, it kind of reframed the whole way I think about stuff.
Yeah. And everyone's not going to everyone's not going to be obsessed with what you're doing. That's okay.
Right, yeah.
True,
you know?
Especially in this industry.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's always going to be someone that doesn't like your music or the
sure.
way that I'm playing.
Sure.
Like my style of playing or something.
Yeah. Absolutely. So just do it for yourself and then trust that the right folks will come along.
Exactly.
And then success will be a byproduct of that.
Yeah.
But you're successful right now, you know, as you think about it, right?
For sure.
You're good people.
We're doing what we love.
Goodness in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, the money and the records and all that stuff, that's part of the definition of success.
Yeah.
But if we hold on to that and we don't have the core of success, which you all have, both of you. So there's no doubt, you know, in my mind, I'm absolutely certain that we'll continue to see these folks someday. Hopefully I get backstage passes.
Oh my gosh, yes,
For
of course.
Sure.
But I must say that I certainly have enjoyed chatting with you, and I think that the listeners and the viewers will certainly gain some value too.
Thank you
as
so
they
much for
kind of
having
reflect.
us.
Yeah, it was my
awesome.
pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
So we're going to go grab some dinner now, and then I'm going to go see these two tomorrow night. But thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I'm a hugger. You know I am.
Thank you so
Love
much.
you, dear.
I adore you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining.
Thank y'all for
11
hanging out
minutes
with
to
us.
inspiration. Give them a peace sign. We'll see you later.
We'll see ya.
Take care. Well, thanks a lot for joining us for another episode of 11 Minutes to Inspiration. I thought it was just great. I had a really good time doing this one. I'll trust you gained value and insight as you continue to create and harness the tremendous power of inspiration. And as always, I'm wishing you much happiness and fulfillment on this wonderful journey called life.